Now that we know where we're establishing the wheelbase, where we're establishing the height of the car, where our prerogative of establishing the overall length, overall overhangs of the vehicle, now that we have these in place, let's start establishing a general shape to the car. The next important point to decide on, and this is going to give you a tremendous amount of character and personality to your vehicle, is the base of the windscreen. Where do you want the base of the windscreen to start? Where do you want that to be? Now it can reflect either a cab forward, cab rearward, front engine, rear engine, mid-engine, front mid-engine, but the basic starting point is always going to be in a vehicle like this, somewhere around the rear of the front wheel. So we're talking about a position in the grid of relatively here. The height of it is dependent also on the fact that you're going to need this front wheel to move up and down and within its suspension travel, as well as turn. So imagine that you have a bonnet or a hood or a fender line very close to the front wheel. That doesn't give you a lot of travel up and down for that wheel to move in. It's not realistic. Now we're going to give a little bit of rake to that windscreen just so that we look a little bit considerate about the needs for aerodynamics. And we're going to go up to the height of the vehicle, which is relatively here. Now you have the entrance into the roof panel. Roof lines are never too flat. They always have a bit of curvature in two directions. So that's called the complex curve, when a radius goes that way as well as this way, so in two directions. But we're talking about a side view, so we're only going to look at adding a little bit of curvature to the roof. Do not draw a flat roof. You'll curse the day when it rains and the water is just sitting on the flat surface of the roof. Now, as we move forward from that point, from the base of this windscreen forward, we typically add a slight slope downwards, which increases the forward visibility for the driver and for the passenger, and it also aids a little bit in the aerodynamics. So a little bit of slope, the amount of slope is up to you. Let's say our overhang reaches there. Same for the rear. We're going to come back down after the head of the rear passengers. We have to provide clearance for that. And typically the base of the windscreen or the rear windscreen is going to be slightly higher than the base of the windscreen in the front. So that position, if we're drawing a parallel line, will typically end slightly higher than the one in the front. From there, you just go straight back to relatively a height that you want to achieve. Now that line there, again, is usually a slope downwards. Too much is probably not a good thing. Not enough is also a very bad thing. So reaching back to the overall length of the vehicle. Now we have to consider also that the back of the vehicle and the front of the vehicle have to be connected in some way to the beginning and to the end of the wheel. So this line here and this line here are, again, pretty much up to you as a designer, how you want to position those lines there. So how are we going to take this shell, this silhouette, this profile of a car to the next level? Now that I have a replica of this car, I'm going to show you how I add two additional lines that will give you the overall theme, the overall feel, the overall personality of this car. The first line, and you might think it's not important, but of course it is the rocker line, the sill line as we also call it, and that is the bottom line of the vehicle. That bottom line can tell you if it's a high-sitting SUV, a low-sitting sedan, or even what we call a slammed sports car, something that is very low on the road. Relatively, we're going to establish that line about 50% of the way up to the middle of the wheel. You can see that that wheel does play a big role. The size of the wheel does play a big role in the overall proportions in the vehicle. So we're going from the ground line halfway up to the center of the wheel, which is about there, and that is going to be the ground line of the vehicle. Now, again, that can be up and down a little bit. It's up to you. However you like. That's what your job as a designer is to figure out. Now, the next line is probably the most important line on the vehicle in terms of giving it a certain character, a certain personality, and that is the shoulder line. The shoulder line goes from the front of the car all the way to the back. Whatever it does within that space is up to you, whatever you decide. But that line, that area of the vehicle is quite important to establishing the feel of the car. Let's see what I mean. Typically, I'll start at the front, rise, and dip, and then rise again, and then dip again. And as you can see now, we're getting a character of something that resembles perhaps in side view a Coke bottle. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, Coke bottles typically, at least the old style, will have the shape that we can reminisce about that is a little bit like that. You can see the flow, something like that. And you can see that basically there's a pinching of the waist and a flowing out. So that pinching of the waist would occur here. Again, in side view, it does the rise, the dip, the rise, the dip, the rise, the dip, the rise. Now, why have I actually put the top of the curvature here and the top of the curvature here of the shoulder line? Well, that has all to do with balance. When we create a shape, we want it to be balanced, not off-balanced. So on a car, I'm balancing the major part of the mass, the high part of the mass, directly over the center line of the wheels, as you can see here. So those high points are basically intended to give you a feeling that the car is set well on its wheels. If I was to do the opposite and place the high point of the curvatures slightly ahead of the wheels or slightly behind the wheels, the whole character of the car would change, most likely in a bad way. Let me show you what I mean. We're talking about a curvature, shoulder curvature, perhaps like that, perhaps like that, and you can see that the relationship of that, the high point, sort of being out of sync, out of balance. You can see how the balance of the curvature is to the front of the wheels, or how it's to the rear of the wheels. To the front, extreme lean. To the rear, extremely laid back. Now again, if you were to imagine that as a person perhaps standing, you would see that the feet in the top version would look like the body is pretty much in a very much leaning forward position. And that is not, let's say, not ideal. And then if you position the feet too far in front, obviously it's also going to look very strange in a person who has that kind of posture. So here you can see how one slight imbalance right at the beginning of your sketch can throw off that final result.